Anyway, yeah, University of St. Francis, a great partner here as well, and it's been mutually beneficial, as you mentioned, that sharing some of that equipment and the excitement of having the additional activities through the off season of football. Obviously, been a great fit for Fort Wayne FC, as we don't need the fields at the time they do, and they don't need them as much in this time period of the year as well. So it's been a great relationship.
We want to thank those of you waiting so patiently for joining us on this live stream. We are back up and running due to some technical difficulties, but hey, we're glad you can sit alongside us as Fort Wayne FC and Toledo Valla FC go head-to-head for the first time this season. Just in case you're joining us, Fort Wayne FC sitting 2-0 on the season. A win last week in the season opener against the Dayton Dutch Lions, followed by a 1-0 win at Kings Hammer FC. Meanwhile, Toledo Valla FC 0-1 to start the season after a 4-1 loss at FC Buffalo. And so far, not really any serious chances, Ken, but you have to like the aggressiveness so far from Toledo, especially after that season opener.
Absolutely. They really are pushing forward and attacking the ball early, not pulling back. Dayton, we watched last week, they kind of settled in and sat back and allowed Fort Wayne to have a lot more play in the midfield and possess the ball, and Toledo's putting a little more pressure up the field, and as a result, most of the play has been down in the Fort Wayne FC final third here. So hopefully, it's kind of a dangerous trend if the ball's in that region for long periods of time. Funny things can happen with deflections and different things. So we want to make sure we're moving the ball forward and getting some play down at the other end.
Little extracurricular activity after that stoppage between Aitor Cuenca and Cam Torito. It's like a gentle disagreement. Thankfully, Torito back on his feet as well after taking a bit of an awkward slide. So we play on 10th minute. Home match number 2 for Fort Wayne FC, right now in first place in the Valley Division. Some pressure applied to Tristan Rose. Sanchez swings it out wide to Traore. Traore, room to operate right into the midst of Brendan Graves. First time we've called his name tonight, and not a bad touch for Traore, but finally a sense of offense from Fort Wayne FC.
Indeed, the first time down the pitch. So, historically, Fort Wayne FC had pretty much had their way with Toledo, but for the initial match between these two teams, which Toledo won by a score of 2-1. Fort Wayne has won the remaining 6 matches that these two teams have met. Most recently, in July of last year, a 4-0 win against Toledo. I remember that match pretty vividly. Fort Wayne controlled pretty much from start to finish. It was a very, very nice. They were playing very well at that point in the season, and Toledo kind of ran into the Saw Blades and went home with a 0-4 result.
And on top of that, Ken, that was the match that clinched the Valley Division title for Fort Wayne FC. So a historic night, that 4-0 win. And that Valley Division clincher was pretty much the cherry on top to a special night here.
That was a great time. And then, as you recall, Josh, we went on to be chosen to host that first playoff game in the history of the club against Flint City Bucks. Came down here to Fort Wayne. Fabulous game from start to finish. A lot of attack and a lot of high-level play. Unfortunately, Flint City came away with the win in overtime, but it was a real treat to have the fans here in Fort Wayne be able to witness that match.
Fort Wayne resets in the midfield, and a nice takeaway by Torito. Played up ahead as Briscoe gloves that down. As we mentioned, the reigning Golden Glove winner from USL 2 last season. He's had a couple of solid plays early on this season, especially in the Dayton win last Saturday. Out wide, here's Traore trying to split the double team. Traore tackled inside the box, and a penalty kick is going to be called. First penalty kick opportunity all season for Fort Wayne FC, and you have to love the aggressiveness from Traore to force the issue.
He really took it into the mix there, and it took a couple of taps there before he actually went down. But the referee very studied and very deliberate, and made the call pointing to the spot, and so Fort Wayne FC, fabulous opportunity here to go up in the 13th minute of the match on a penalty kick.
Here's Aaron Sanchez, who will take the penalty kick. Sanchez scoreless this season, trying to add to his tally. Trying to net this against Graves. Crucial juncture for both sides. Can Fort Wayne crack the scoreboard here? And Sanchez slings it away.
Well taken, right along the floor, side netting. Virtually impossible for a goalkeeper to stop that ball. And if that's his normal take from the spot, you can see why Sanchez is the designated penalty kick taker there, because again, virtually impossible. No matter what a keeper's going to try and do there when it's slotted low, far corner.
So Sanchez, he's a national champion at the D2 level with Franklin Pierce, and he gets Fort Wayne FC on the board in the 14th minute thanks to a penalty kick. Kind of have to give an assist to Traore. I mean, you have to love the aggressiveness from Traore. Like we mentioned earlier, splitting that double team, and the defenders were left with no choice but to commit some contact inside the 18.
Well, and that's such a good thing for young attacking players to learn and to watch that sort of aggressive play, because you never know what can result. Obviously he's working hard to get in a position to shoot the ball there, but just by working hard and going at those defenders, forced them to make a play that led to the penalty. So, we saw a goal last week, similar to my mind, where it was a deflection, and so you never know what the result's going to be. So you just got to keep working hard and taking the ball forward. We talked a little bit about that last week, too. Just that mentality of going to goal. That should be your first look at all times. You're trying to think through the possibilities of getting the goal.
Here's Traore trying to split that double team again, and this time Toledo takes it away. Not before Fort Wayne FC forces another throw-in. Aitor Cuenca. Service into Heis Hovius. And that one deflected away.
Yeah, tough to get that ball back under control once it starts bouncing on you, especially on this artificial surface. That ball gets hanging in the air about waist high, and it's tough to get it back down to where you can make a decent play at it.
Another throw-in opportunity for Fort Wayne FC. Here's an interesting little nugget for tonight. So, Heis Hovius trying to collect some possession inside the 18. We'll get to that nugget later, but first we've got this free kick coming up for Alexander Mihov. Mihov, service in and punched away by Graves.
Nice service ball there. Really, really driven hard and about head level. So, there's no floating, no opportunity for those defenders to get in underneath the ball. So, really a great effort from Mihov.
Graves showing off those deadly fists in the early going. And a good redemption opportunity for him, too, after giving up that penalty kick. So anyways, back to our little nugget, Ken. We've got Heis Hovius, who's become a bit of a fan favorite here with Fort Wayne FC. And then on Toledo Villa's side, in the midfield, they've got a guy spelled the exact same way as Heis, but their guy pronounces their name Geisch. Do you understand Dutch at all? Are you familiar with the Dutch language at all?
You know what? The first thought that comes to my mind is you say potato, I say potato, right? Tomato, tomato. So I do not know the inner workings of the Dutch language, but no doubt, we have probably some equivalents here in the U.S. as well, don't we? Where the many spellings of different names and different pronunciations, even though the spelling is the same. So I guess we should issue that blanket apology for selecting the wrong pronunciation at the wrong time if we should do so over the next 80 minutes.
There you go, a blanket apology for the rest of this match.
Yeah.
So just joining us, Fort Wayne FC with an early 1-0 lead thanks to a penalty kick by Aaron Sanchez in the 14th minute. Some good pressure that time by Larman, but Briscoe was able to boot it away.
Yeah, again, they're still pushing. It'll be interesting to see how long they can keep that pace going, but it's not possible to pressure further up the field than they just did now when Ari Briscoe had the ball at his foot, 1 yard out in front of the goal.
Kind of interesting in how this match has unfolded so far, Ken. We're used to seeing Fort Wayne FC led by Mike Avery. They've been the aggressors, especially the last year and a half in the Valley Division. This, at least so far, it feels like Fort Wayne FC is playing more of a counter style, just trying to take that early storm from Toledo and make them pay for it down the stretch.
Yeah, it's interesting. You're right. There's not nearly the amount of possession coming through the midfield that we saw last Saturday. They are building it out of the back, but again, I wonder if that Toledo pressure is really kind of throwing a wrench in the plans of these Fort Wayne FC defenders. Notice they're very, very deliberate here as they're working the ball around, and kind of a wasted ball there from Briscoe, trying to just get it out of his goal mouth area.
Traore trying to force some pressure, but a good job by Horn to get it away. Foul called on Fort Wayne FC. You've got to think too, Ken, with just how fast and furious this USL 2 season is. I mean, with Fort Wayne FC, it was a luxury that they got even a week's worth of practice time before their first match. Toledo Villa, they only came together 3 days before their season opener last Sunday at FC Buffalo.
Yeah, that really is at the real heart of the teams that have success, if they're able to manage and maneuver those circumstances. Because again, in the case of Fort Wayne FC, you look at the roster. There are 13 nations represented. Players coming from all over this country as well, be it from their college situations or other circumstances. But yeah, to come in and in many cases, struggling with the English language, and now you're thrown into a group of 25 or 30 guys that you've never met before, and 6 days later you go out on the field and try and win a match. So it really is a hallmark of the USL 2 league. That's how everybody's trying to manage. And again, oh boy, not sure if that took a funny bounce or a deflection. It certainly looked a little more troublesome to Ari Briscoe than it should have been.
I was going to say, the first serious set-piece chance for Toledo. You did have Tristan Rose lurking around, but just the way that bounced through, let's take another look. Just the way that bounced through, it looks like Briscoe didn't judge that properly. And now we've got our first corner kick in the match. Larman, far post. And last touched by Fort Wayne FC. We will reset on the opposite side. look at that drum line for Fort Wayne FC. While we reset for this corner, Fort Wayne Metals is a leader in the production of metal alloys and more for life-saving medical devices. And Fort Wayne FC is proud to partner with Fort Wayne Metals as a partner for the Fort Wayne FC Drummers drum line. Another corner kick, this time taking it short. Service inside and a dangerous chance. Perhaps last touch by Larman. Instead, it's a goal kick.
That's a good-looking set play from a corner there. Toledo bringing it back, just slightly changing the angle of that service by dropping the ball 6 or 8 yards away from the end line there, and really allowed for the folks on the receiving end of the service to get into a good position, and really good opportunity there that didn't quite get the finishing touch on it, but certainly created a dangerous opportunity.
Larman has really been lurking over on that right wing so far, kind of presenting a lot of issues. But so far, Fort Wayne FC has been able to stay clear of trouble.
Well, and the last 2 corner kicks, I'm going to make observation that it certainly appears like several of the shirts, the white shirts, with a lot of space around them. Oh, that thankfully came off the crossbar. Just Toledo had a man in the position that could have finished had the ball landed just slightly to the right.
Out wide, that's Ali Nasser. What a good job by this Fort Wayne FC defense, stalling the attack for now. Now here's DeMorney Hutchinson. Hutchinson trying to chip it over, but booted away. Great defense that time by Tiago Diaz, one of the 2 center backs.
We're slightly over 20 minutes into this match, and boy, it sure seems, just from an anecdotal sort of observation point, that Toledo's doing a better job of making their way to the ball and getting the advantageous positioning, such that you mentioned Fort Wayne not having a whole lot of possession, but the first step in having any possession at all is winning that ball, and Toledo's had the upper hand thus far, to my mind.
Ice Hovius draws that foul, so maybe a chance, Ken, for Fort Wayne FC to build on some possession in Toledo's half. Here's De Castro. Out to Diaz. Flicked behind by Traore, and will be a Toledo Valla FC throw-in.
Not a big fan of trying to flick real clever, just play the high percentage touches and keep the ball. It rarely leads to anything constructive.
A little bit of an entanglement between De Castro and Hutchinson. And Hutchinson is a bit beside himself right now. We thought De Castro was a little more of the aggressor.
I'm going to confess, I heard the whistle and I was waiting to see which way he was going to point, because it looked that pretty evenly distributed, those arm wavings.
Just getting a second look at our vantage point, it looked like Hutchinson was extending that arm a little bit more, and that's probably what drew the official's whistle.
You know what? That is a telltale sign. That arm comes up away from the body. We coach our younger players all the time. There, you keep that arm at about a 45-degree angle, and you're going to be okay, right? You can use predominantly the force of your shoulder there, but once you get up where that arm is at 90 degrees, more often than not, that official is going to blow that whistle, because now you're using the arms to gain an advantage, and that's where the problems go.
Mihov and Terry get tangled up, and that results in a foul. So now Fort Wayne FC tries to reset.
We've played some balls into the midfield, but then, you know what, they're playing it back. I'm wondering if we don't need just a little higher work rate, or maybe even a little bit more creativity from the front runners here to create some opportunities for the midfielders to play it forward because, again, not getting a whole lot from the midfield going forward. And here again, playing it back, and it's good to maintain that possession, but you also at some point you need to move it forward and get it onto the foot of Traore or Hovius to really create something dangerous in that final third.
Well, Anaya is back to his feet after taking a tough tumble.
Looked like he was holding his head. I'm not sure if he caught an elbow. I didn't tell.
And a little bit of extracurricular activity. You've got Sanchez, Nasser, Terry all hunched in. I don't know. Do you think Anaya gets an Emmy for that performance?
Maybe. Oh, they all like to try to persuade the official to their favor.
Here's Mihal. Instead, the official says we weren't ready for that throw-in yet. Cuenca has to back up just a little further. Again, Fort Wayne FC sitting on a 1-0 lead. Just to clarify, the scoreboard is incorrect. A 14th minute penalty kick, courtesy of Sanchez, as the boys in blue in front in the first half. Again, you mentioned, Ken, it feels like that midfield is really being dominated by Toledo, and as a result, Fort Wayne FC just has to play side to side a little bit.
Yeah, and again, I'm not arguing about keeping possession by playing it back, but I would love to see those midfielders able to play into the more dangerous spaces moving forward. Again, it may well be the lack of creative runs coming out of the front as well, right? I mean, they're kind of waiting on the ball as opposed to moving clean into spaces.
Be a chance to build up some possession in the midfield.
That's the kind of ball we're looking for right there. Not successful attempt on that particular play, but notice that ball went in behind the midfield and forcing those Toledo defenders to step up and make a play.
But you see those midfielders like Jaden Ramsey-Kelly, those guys have really done a good job of producing clean tackles and have taken the ball away.
Yes.
Another throw in now. This time Fort Wayne FC regains possession as Cuenca looks for an open man. Traore fighting with Larman. Here's Horn, the Noblesville native. As we mentioned, playing right now at IU Indianapolis.
You mentioned getting used to that new habit of referring to IU Indianapolis. I have the same struggle here locally when I continue to refer to IPFW. The old habits die hard. It's now just Purdue Fort Wayne. But so many years, and so many of my friends represented the university when it was known as IPFW, Indiana Purdue Fort Wayne. Hard for me to sometimes not remember it by that.
Yeah, you could just call them Mastodons.
Yes, indeed.
That's the one thing that didn't change over from the name change. Everybody in the Summit City will get the Mastodons reference. Hutchinson plays it ahead. Briscoe comes out of his post, and what a job that time. As Diaz acted as a shield, giving Briscoe just enough time to swoop in for that save.
So my eyes are not keen enough to be able to read the flying banner over there, but wondering if it's someone looking to get a message to the FC crowd here tonight at Bishop Darcy Stadium.
I'll have to look up that banner a little bit. Great crowd on hand here at Darcy Stadium. Really a place that's becoming more of a summer staple here in the Summit City.
Well, and it's such a beautiful evening as well to come out and enjoy some pretty high-level soccer play.
Sanchez with some fancy footwork. Out wide to Cuenca. Not the best first touch. And Kino boots it back to Briscoe. Naya serves that up for Heis Jovius. Jovius, as we mentioned, joining the team last season, midway through the summer. And he made the most of his limited time in Fort Wayne, but a little bit of a quiet start to this season. No goals, a couple of scoring chances. What do you feel like it's going to take, Ken, to get Heis going a little bit?
You know, I've been watching since I first mentioned 8 or 10 minutes ago, but notice how stationary he is, just right in that central spot. And I'd love to see him kind of coming back and forth, maybe moving back into the midfield, kind of help dig it out a little bit. But notice his run, even there, is just straightforward. And you gotta be a little more deceptive if you're going to really create something that is gonna get in toward the goal.
First corner kick opportunity for Fort Wayne FC. As the shade begins to set over the St. Francis end zone, Anaya will be the one to take this corner. Anaya goes far post and gloved down by Graves.
Yeah, he really made that decision and went with it, didn't he? He went all in, and luckily he did maintain possession because Fort Wayne definitely had some bodies around that ball. It's like Mehoff in particular, had he bobbled that ball, Mehoff was right there ready to pounce.
I bet you Graves has seen that kick a time or two from Anaya. Two guys that play at Bowling Green, and really, Ken, it feels like the Bowling Green All-Stars out on the pitch.
Yes,
tonight.
it does indeed. What did we count, 7?
8 if you count Graves.
Yeah.
Feels like half of Toledo Villa's team is from Bowling Green, the other half from Duquesne. That's even if you count Ali Nasser, who's going to transfer to Duquesne for his final season of college soccer. Started his college career actually here in Fort Wayne with Purdue Fort Wayne. He was actually one of the better goal scorers for that program, too, during his time in Fort Wayne.
Well, and I apologize for not remembering the chronology of this. Assistant coach Keelan Barker, some association with Bowling Green. I forget if he's just left there, correct, and hired into Indiana Tech, if I'm not mistaken. Now my recollections sort of came out of the fog there, and what a great opportunity for him over there at Indiana Tech. They've had such a storied soccer history, going well back into the I recall even in the 70s they were phenomenally successful at the level they play. Had some unbelievably talented players coming from all over the world. I know we used to play over at the Fort Wayne Sport Club. We would play, they called themselves the Fort Wayne Stars as a club, but it was all the Indiana Tech players hailing from 3 or 4 African nations. They had a couple from Nigeria and several from Ghana. And boy, those were some matches back in the day, let me tell you.
Certainly a lot of history here, like you mentioned, Ken. You're kind of seeing that change and evolve, especially with all the connections here. A lot of these connections, especially with Bowling Green, tonight's match.
Yeah, and it's great to see, honestly, the inclusive attitude of this Fort Wayne FC club. We've had, as you probably are aware, several incarnations of professional, semi-professional level soccer here in Fort Wayne, and it's not always presenting itself as an inclusive endeavor. So a little bit more exclusivity, and that obviously led to the failure of those earlier teams. So I feel this attempt by Fort Wayne FC has a totally different feel, and as you scan the bleachers, you see folks representing every facet of Fort Wayne soccer. And again, you're right, Josh, there is a lot of history here, from obviously the starting points of the Fort Wayne Sport Club, coming for its 100th anniversary in 1927 to 2027. We mentioned all the players coming through Indiana Tech, but a great tradition of soccer here at St. Francis, as well as PFW, Huntington University, competing at a pretty high level as well. So a lot of collegiate ball, but also then the high school leagues starting back in the late 70s, and Fort Wayne has produced some of the better high school players that have gone on to represent many universities, and not the least of whom some semi-unknown character known by Demarcus Beasley, coming right out of the Fort Wayne ranks here.
I'll have to look up that name. I guess it doesn't ring a bell.
Yes.
I can't.
Oh, yeah. Only the most decorated World Cup soccer player in the history of the United States.
The only guy. Yes.
Not Fort Wayne, but the entire nation. So, it's great to have DeMarcus back in town. He left us very young. He was still in high school, went away. I believe his first stop was in Chicago with the Fire, and he was only 16, and as I say, left high school and moved away from Fort Wayne and literally traveled the world playing the game, spending time in several different leagues before landing back here in the MLS to finish out his career with Houston. But he spent some time in Mexico, spent some time in Scotland. Again, what a career, and what a great opportunity to showcase Fort Wayne and what Fort Wayne has to offer in soccer.
Well, while we're on the topic of DeMarcus, how about a belated birthday shout out to the man Demarcus Beasley himself? I'm sure the one birthday present he would like most of all is a win tonight.
Well, and I had a very important decision to make when I was at the training. It was actually on the morning of his birthday, and the players were conspiring, of course, to douse him in water. And I happened to be standing there talking to him, and he sort of caught glimpse that they were headed his way, and he took off. And I said, God, being a player's coach, I should have probably grabbed him and held him in place so they could have their way. But I decided to retain my positive relationship with the club by letting him escape. And I will say he exhibited 43-year-old Beasley speed, which I'm fairly certain was faster than I could ever run, even at the height of my career. So he's still very athletic and fit. And again, wishing him a very happy 43rd birthday.
Shoot, he could probably outrun a lot of the guys playing on this pitch right now, even at 43
I believe
years old.
that would be the case, indeed.
If you're just joining us, first half late stages as Fort Wayne FC clings on to a 1-0 lead. And even though the boys in blue have this lead, it feels like Toledo Valla FC has been in control of this match, especially in the time of possession category. It just feels like, especially compared to last year or recent matches, Fort Wayne just hasn't had the same amount of possession time. Credit goes to Coach Matt Johnson and the ability of this Toledo team to respond after a 4-1 loss in their season opener on Sunday.
Well, and things have settled in just a little bit from those first 10, 12 minutes of the half, because Fort Wayne is a little tighter in defending here, and not quite allowing Toledo the open lanes that they had in that opening minutes.
Here's to Castro, over to Diaz. Again, trying to move more from side to side instead of attacking through the middle of the pitch.
Well, and again, Toledo continues to attempt to do that high pressure. Having said that, it's a really difficult proposition to maintain over the course of a full 90 minutes because, to be honest, you just get tired, right? I mean, you're running an awful lot of extra steps, and again, part of Fort Wayne moving the ball quickly across side to side, as you mentioned, Josh, is to force those Toledo players to chase and wear them down a little bit to where they're not able to. Yes, we've got some semblance of a scoreboard graphic going up. We have a half of Fort Wayne.
Again, apologies.
Fade to black.
For the late start to this live stream, some technical difficulties leading up to kickoff. We're glad you're here with us now if you're not joining us from Bishop Darcy Stadium. Our Sports Engine will be your home all season for Fort Wayne FC as well as USL2 soccer. Two minutes and stoppage time to go until we hit halftime. And as Ken alluded to towards the top of the broadcast, don't want to turn off those screens just yet when we hit halftime, as Ken caught up with a few members of Fort Wayne FC yesterday, had them mingle with each other, ask all the hard-hitting questions. And you'll hear from a few of those faces coming up at halftime as we get you set up for the second 45.
Well, and again, not having opportunity to get a firm answer on what our technical difficulties are or were tonight. I think we still have something with the scoreboard, so not certain those interviews are going to be. I can't guarantee, but we're hoping to be able to present something similar throughout the course of the season. Take advantage of some of those halftime moments to bring you up close and personal with the players as well as the coaching staff and maybe some other folks within the organization or within our community. Great opportunity again to be inclusive and share some of the spotlight with folks from all around the Fort Wayne area.
Here's Hovius. Limited action at that 9 spot tonight. And Graves well out of his post. Slings that one away. Still in bounds, here's Horn. One last chance for Toledo to counter, maybe equalize this match. Again, Fort Wayne FC very fortunate to be ahead 1-0 thanks to a penalty kick back in the 14th minute. So we will get 1 minute of stoppage time.
1 minute stoppage time.
As the fourth official just indicated.
Yeah, I'm not sure what conclusions to draw from, but from this. But a week ago we had a minute of stoppage time in the first half, and I think where I want to take it is, it's been a very smooth and good rhythm to the half. Not a lot of chippiness, which is good. Not a lot of nonsensical play that stops the clock. So that's a good thing, and I think a testament to the level of play for the USL2 clubs as this league continues to mature.
Final seconds here as Cuenca is trying to milk the rest of stoppage time. And that'll do it for your first half. So Fort Wayne FC, not the cleanest of halves, but they lead in the most important category, and that is the scoreboard. Ahead 1-0 over Toledo Valla FC, and 45 minutes away from getting off to a 3-0 start.
Well, not to overstress this point, but I'm not sure Toledo dominated in that play. Probably slightly better half, but used to drive my father crazy watching a match, and say he'd come off at the end and say, you know, you guys clearly were the better team and playing better from start to finish, and yet not come away with the victory. So soccer can be a cruel, cruel game in that respect for sure.
We'll have more from Fort Wayne FC coming up in about 15 minutes, but for now, we'll step aside for now. This is USL2 Soccer on Sports Engine.
Burgers from Fort Wayne Sport Club. It's all available on the main concourse. Kids gathered in the stadium near the zone and test your skills at Sloan Center's Kick It for Mental Wellness game. Let's kick the stigma. It's time to find our fan of the match. Show us your Fort Wayne FC spirit and win a free pizza from Elmo's Glasses. We'd like to thank Fort Wayne Police Department for their services today and every day. Just a reminder, stop by the Fort Wayne FC fan shop where you'll find jerseys, apparel, scarves, and much more to show your Fort Wayne FC pride. Fans, get on your feet. Let's get fired up with Firehouse Subs. Interns will throw out 9 small sandwiches to fans. Yes, Firehouse Subs. Very appropriate for today. Fort Wayne FC will have substitution here at halftime. Entering the match, number 20, Brandon Birmingham, replacing Avukar Traore, number 26.
Toledo Villa kind of took control of this match. Feels like Fort Wayne, has done a good job.
Yeah, and penalty kick from Aaron Sanchez in about the 13th minute is the differential here, 1-0. And, we'll see. You mentioned while the mics were down, whether Coach Avery will go to his bench a little bit to maybe rile some things up, get some different chemistry. One of the things we did talk about the other day at practice as well was, his challenge as the coach to make sure he's keeping everyone on the roster viable. He was careful not to use the word happy because it's always impossible to keep everyone happy, but keeping them viable, and by that he meant giving them opportunities when opportunities arise. So, for instance, we have the upcoming friendly on Wednesday with Inter Detroit. And he says, most likely if you play most of the match tonight, you're not going to be on the roster for that one because he needs to get some other guys some play time and some minutes on the pitch. So, really a challenge when you have this many guys, and they all want to prove themselves. They all want to be contributors. So,
Ken, when you look at Toledo's side, as we mentioned, it feels like they've controlled most of possession for this match, but they've yet to really get things clicking in the attacking third.
Yeah,
what do you think needs to change?
You know what? For that matter, neither side. I mean, what are they saying on the shot? Has Fort Wayne even lobbied a shot?
So we don't have the stats in front of us right now, but just based on the feel of this match, it feels like Toledo has put together a lot of quality chances, a lot more in bunches compared to Fort Wayne so far. But for Fort Wayne FC's part, they have done a good job of controlling things in the back line. Of course, Tiago Diaz, Rodrigo de Castro, those two center backs really locking things down. And of course, when you have a guy like Ari Briscoe, who was the Gold Glove winner last year, has done a good job of making sure things aren't easy in that final third.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. You got to fight to get your way past the likes of Tiago Diaz, and then your reward for doing that is facing Ari Briscoe with his golden gloves. So getting everybody lined up here, ready to rock and roll for the second half. It is another home match here tonight. We've got the friendly here at Bishop Darcy Stadium on Wednesday. However, it is now possible to catch Fort Wayne FC on the road. At the pitch at J.K. O'Donnell's. J.K. O'Donnell's offers a range of whiskeys, beers, Irish fare, and more. See you at the pitch, located just behind J.K. O'Donnell's Pub, downtown Fort Wayne.
Will I be seeing you there after this match?
Nah, neither can deny nor confirm.
Can't say
Where we
can't say
can
on
be, we cannot. We were there for the watch party, or not the watch party, the meet and greet, sorry, prior to the opening match of the season. A great evening of festivities. The players all introduced themselves, and there were some comments from each of the coaches that work with the team, and then chance for fans to come in and chat with the players one-on-one, informally, get to know them a little bit. Fantastic evening there at J.K. O'Donnell's, and the pitch just opening that week prior. And I got to tell you, Josh, it was a lot of fun. They've got the artificial surface, the artificial turf there with the soccer lines there. They've got, it is open air, but they've got the cover in case the weather turns Irish on us and, the rain starts to fall. But at any rate, nice coverage by Mr. Briscoe in the goal there.
Great coverage, as you mentioned, as a pink hue falls over the pitch now, and it's actually the Toledo fans making the quick drive over from the Glass City. Of course, Fort Wayne and Toledo no strangers to each other. Maybe not so much on the pitch, but certainly in hockey as well. Long-lasting rivalry between the Fort Wayne Comets and the Toledo Walleye.
Yes.
So Fort Wayne did elect to make one substitution. They brought in Brandon Birmingham, the Irish native, kind of touching on that
Yes,
you're just
indeed.
talking about with J.K. O'Donnell's. Birmingham into the match for the first time.
Had some quality minutes last Saturday, did Mr. Birmingham. So see if he can continue to be efficient and effective in the minutes he gets tonight.
Here's Anaya on the wing. Good job
Good
by
change
Keenum.
of play, yes, indeed.
Switching it up now. Strike from outside the 18, and that is wide of the post, but a welcome sign as Birmingham gives it a boot and tries to make an instant impact in the second half. It almost feels like, especially when you have a guy like Graves who's been kind of tested in this match, you just need to put some pressure on that keeper. Corner kick for Mihov. Still in play for Fort Wayne FC. Back heel goes over everyone. Only the second corner kick of the match for Fort Wayne FC. 3 for Toledo in this match. Here's a look at Graves getting his first start of the season. Sebastian Doppelhofer starting match number 1 for Toledo. And Ali Nasser takes a bit of a hit. Back to his feet. That's always a good sign.
Always a good sign. Don't like to see somebody go down hard.
Nasser, as we mentioned, a former Mastodon, played with Purdue Fort Wayne for a couple of years. He's going to wrap up his college career next season with Duquesne. Here's Heis Hovius. Quiet start to his season, as we mentioned in the first half. Trying to see if he can get going offensively. And some limited possession time for him as well. Nice,
nice
give-and-go
little.
action. Birmingham tries to let it through. Anaya is able to recover it, rather Mihal. But it is going to be a corner kick.
No, I think he's pointing to the goal.
Well, the
spot.
near side assistant ref
No, okay,
is
he
pointing
must
to
have
the corner
overruled.
flag.
Yep, overruled because he was pointing to the 6.
So that must have been last touch by Graves, and it sets up another corner kick for
Wow,
Mihal.
and a dangerous one. See if he can drive that ball. Look at the sun. Graves needing to protect his eyes. Can't see. Another corner here. See if they can take advantage of that. Again, a good driven ball right about eye level. Going to be really difficult for that goalkeeper to manage, especially amidst the crowd right there in that 6-yard area.
Mihal back post and headed away. Nice job that time by Odell Brown. So a couple of corner kicks now. Fort Wayne up to 3. But it feels like all of those set pieces haven't been truly threatening towards Toledo yet. Again, 1-0 is your score. Goal back in the 14th minute off a penalty kick for Aaron Sanchez. Fort Wayne FC comes in 2-0 on the season, a win last week over the Dayton Dutch Lions in the season opener. 3-1 was that final, followed up by a 1-0 win at Kings Hammer. That match being played at Northern Kentucky. And the only goal of the match coming courtesy of Beto Anaya. Still in the match right now.
Always great to collect 3 points on the road as well. Very difficult. But again, Coach Avery hoping to create some distance between Fort Wayne FC and current second place squad FC Buffalo. 3 points with a win tonight will take Fort Wayne to 9 on the season.
And just think, you only play 12 Valley Division matches. 3 matches, 3 wins. You get a quarter of your divisional matches in the books.
In 1 week. It's a pretty amazing trajectory.
Here's Birmingham. Fort Wayne doesn't have numbers, but now here comes Mihal on the attack. That's off the boot of Rose, but it sets up a throw-in.
Now, already in just the several minutes he's been in, Birmingham has livened the attack. He's really taking it at the defenders with authority and with vigor. And again, maybe doesn't always have the result that he intends, but certainly makes something happen, which is an improvement over that first 45.
Larman very frustrated. He thought he was held long enough, and that's what caused him to lose possession, but head official disagrees. We keep going. Demorny Hutchinson. Swing out wide right to the boots of Birmingham. Rather, Cuenca. Now here's Birmingham, another give and go. Birmingham with some room to operate. Cuenca, the cross. Mihal keeps it alive.
That's some wonderful play over on that left flank. Some little give and goes, a little ball down the touchline. Beautiful service. That's a good ball in as well. Boy, Fort Wayne FC really is stringing together a lot more. Look at the bicycle kick. Just missed from Birmingham.
Incredible effort by Birmingham, and man, this guy,
he's
made
some things happen already, hasn't he?
An instant spark to this Fort Wayne offense that was a little hit or miss in the first half, and Birmingham seemed to reignite this Fort Wayne FC attack in the early going of the second half. Speaking of which, some more pressure from Birmingham. Gonna play collegiately this coming fall at Rhode Island. 6 goals last year. Actually started his college career at William Carey. And a guy that knows what it takes to play on the national level. He was a member of the Ireland U18 as well as the Northern Ireland U17 national teams. '55th minute here at Bishop Darcy Stadium, on the campus of the University of St. Francis in Fort Wayne. Home match number 2 of 9. Cuenca with a heads-up play to keep this down. Anaya attacks. Mihov, nice through ball on sides, and what a play by Graves.
Almost looked like he was distracted looking at the assistant referee on the side to see if the flag had raised.
That's the bicycle kick from earlier, but how about Brendan Graves sliding in 2 attackers? Nonetheless, 2 attackers from Fort Wayne, probably the best chance we've seen all night from the boys in blue, but Graves with a sensational save. Rose heads it back to Graves. And it just feels like we're seeing a lot more connection in that attacking third. Foul is called on Mihov. Getting tangled with Toledo a little bit. And Toledo opting to go quick. Larman. Terry keeps control, finding Vellings. Now out wide, here's Brown. Brown against Cuenca. Vellings serves into the 18 and booted high in the air. Briscoe skies for the ball. Vellings was in the vicinity. Actually, make that Hutchinson as he's down on the pitch. So Hutchinson back on his feet. First dangerous chance of the second half for Toledo as they look for an equalizer. We do have a couple of substitutions coming in for Toledo's side. That includes Sosa Imovan, native of Ontario. And then you've also got Dakota Yonke checking in for the first time, the Cleveland native. So Jalen Larman will be one of the guys to take a seat, as well as Odell Brown, as you see on screen.
Interesting decision there. Larman's been pretty effective for Toledo. Maybe something the coaching staff sees that we don't see in terms of making that change.
It's now set piece for Toledo. Here's Ali Nasser. He's had some sensational goals during his time with Toledo Villa. Trying to add to it. Nasser. Deep
Nice
ball into the
delivery.
18. And
That was a nice delivery. Dangerous ball.
And Toledo had a head on it. So Fort Wayne FC avoids danger yet again. Just feel like one more goal might be able to put Toledo away. So we hit the...
Certainly wouldn't hurt any.
And especially for tie-breaking purposes too. You always want to drive up that goal differential in a 6-team division.
Well, Josh, a little late for tonight, but for future reference, fans, you can join Rudy's tailgating crew for the pregame party before each and every Fort Wayne FC home match here at Bishop Darcy Stadium. Rudy's is the best bar for cigars, Indiana craft beer, wine, DeBrand's chocolates, and more. So join the gang just slightly ahead of kickoff here at Bishop Darcy Stadium. Rudy's tailgating crew.
You have me at DeBrand's.
Indeed.
Graves gloves another one. So Ken, as you've As we've both noted, the offense starting to pick up a lot. Brandon Birmingham has done a good job. What do you feel like has been the biggest difference in this second half for Fort Wayne?
I think just, again, being aggressive, moving forward, and playing those balls in, without concern of whether it's going to be productive or not in the immediate, right? That you got to, and Birmingham probably the best illustration of that, right? He's going right at them and forcing the defenders to make decisions and take some action. Where perhaps if you're stationary or you're not pushing the defenders, it's a lot easier evening for them.
So a quick correction: Odell Brown is still in the match. And while the substitutes, Imovan and Yonka, are in the game as well for the 11 of Toledo. Cuenca swings that out wide. Again, that give and go. Cuenca able to get a clean touch. However, it was last touched by Toledo. And here we go again. Another corner kick for Fort Wayne FC. So Anaya will be the one to take this at the left corner. He's been the one at that spot. Mihal the opposite side. And
the series of corner kicks is another indication that Fort Wayne has been far more aggressive in their attack, right? Because now Toledo necessarily needing to play it out over the end line, awarding Fort Wayne the corner kicks, and they've had 4 or 5 of them now down at this end. So, again, nice driven ball, but boy, it just doesn't seem. I don't know. For my money, the design of those corner kicks, it doesn't seem as if because there've been some nice services, but boy, we just not getting anybody on the other end of it.
Graves has had a nose for that ball, especially
absolutely.
On the kick,
he really has committed to coming off his line to get those for sure,
and especially on the corner kicks that Anaya takes. Again,
that's a dangerous ball. Oh boy, it's going to be. Not sure there was intent there, but certainly the result of that foot movement was Toledo hitting the turf. Toledo turf.
So another set piece for Toledo, deep in Fort Wayne FC territory.
Ali Nassar again now. The difference with this one, clearly a position from which he can strike a ball straight to the goal. And he certainly has the ability to bend that ball and strike it with authority enough to make a very dangerous chance at goal. See if that's what he does. Indeed, that's what he does. Deflection off the wall. Yep. Corner kick coming for Toledo.
So Nassar drives that straight into the wall, but
not his best effort of the night, but again, he's certainly capable. That ball, last restart from clear out on the right flank, boy, he drove it nicely right into that vicinity of the penalty spot.
Nassar gives it another go. Far post, headed away. And De Castro boots that down.
Unforced error there, giving the ball right back to Toledo. There we go, and then Toledo returns the favor. Thank you very much.
And Mihal draws a foul in transition, and we're going to get our first booking of the night. And that should go against Horn, the way he dragged down Mihal from behind. So Brady Horn does go into the books.
A milestone of sorts for Brady Horn. Speaking of which, ProFed Credit Union provides personal service to help you reach your important milestones. Become a member today. ProFed Credit Union, one of our fine sponsors of Fort Wayne FC for the 2024 season.
So Hernandez and Fort Wayne FC continue on with this free kick. Mihov gets free. Mihov with the boots.
Not off
Inches
by
away.
much. That was a nice take from Mihov. He's been relatively quiet tonight, hasn't he, actually? That's maybe his best effort to goal thus far. And boy, that did not miss by much.
Had a spectacular goal last Saturday to put Fort Wayne FC in the scoring column for the first time this season.
Yeah, struck it very, very well, giving the Dayton keeper absolutely no chance.
As you see on screen, a few more substitutions getting ready to check in for Toledo. And some last-minute instruction from head coach Matt Johnson. Johnson, outside of the summer, coaches collegiately at Lourdes University in Michigan. Holvius in front of 3 defenders, unable to get control. And Vellings resets with Horn and Rose in that back line. Now you're seeing just a little more pressure from Fort Wayne. The kind of style we've seen during Mike Avery's tenure with this program. Holvius.
Oh, that's a nice ball across. Oh,
Birmingham would
not
love that one back.
Not a bad idea, just not the touch he wanted that particular moment. But had the runner down the right side and tried to play it quickly, which again is the right answer, just didn't quite get the right touch to put it where he needed to.
Here's Sanchez. Goal scorer back in the 14th minute. Sanchez and Anaya in tandem with Kino. Again, Fort Wayne FC doing a little better job of sustaining possession in this second half. Now Mihov attacks. And going back to your point, Ken, it kind of feels like that pressure from Toledo Villa softening a little bit, maybe a little fatigue, but Fort Wayne trying to capitalize on it. 68th minute. Outside of that penalty kick, a relatively quiet night for both sides. Fort Wayne FC doing a little better job of generating some offense in this second half. But Mike Avery and company would love to find a way to put this match away. So not only is Toledo Villa going to make some substitutions, but so is Fort Wayne. And here come 3 fresh faces for Toledo. That includes Francis Kwashi, a guy who actually played with Toledo Villa 2 seasons ago. Also got number 22, Taylor Dyson, and number 6, Andrew Schaefer. And then coming into the match,
coming in, yeah.
Mikey
Well
Ketterman. So just Ketterman right now, it looks like.
yeah, interesting.
In number 22, Taylor Dyson.
And then as well as number 30, Nduduso Kiswa.
East Billings. In number
Ketterman
27,
scoring last Saturday in stoppage time
Squashy and leaving Brady
to cement an opening day win for Fort Wayne FC.
And in
So Kiswa working in that
number
midfield.
6, Andrew Schaefer leaving the pitch. Number 10, Ali Nasser.
And as you heard from our PA announcer, Ali Nasser, one of the men who is done for the day. So Nasser making a bit of a reunion trip to Fort Wayne. His day is done and he comes home empty-handed, at least personally. Some solid pressure by Shotaro Kino when he draws a foul against Yonka.
Michael Ketterman.
And as you heard, too, from the PA announcer, Ken, it's Heis Holvius who heads to the bench, too. So his quiet start to the season continues as Mike Avery puts Kedeman in that nine slot.
Replacing number 10, Beto Anaya.
Kedeman having a better way of things last week as well, scoring a goal against the Dayton Dutch Lions in the home opener. Speaking of the Dayton Dutch Lions, also in action tonight in the Valley Division. Dayton Dutch Lions meeting the Cleveland Force tonight. Looks like an update on the score. Looks like Cleveland is up at halftime 2-1. The most recent numbers I'm able to retrieve. So Dayton looking for their first win of the season as they meet the Cleveland Force in Valley Division action tonight.
Fort Wayne is going to see Cleveland not too far from now, actually towards the end of June. That'll be a trip to the Cleveland Force SC on Saturday, June 22nd. Only home match against Cleveland is Sunday, July 7th. Already past the 70-minute mark here at Darcy Stadium, and Fort Wayne FC still clinging on to that 1-0 lead. Out wide, here's Dyson. Trying to fit in some tight windows. Toledo resets with Toledo. And a foul in favor of Fort Wayne FC. Toledo trying to plead his case as Birmingham is getting back to his feet.
Slow to get up, but thankfully up. Seems to be moving just fine, so that's a good sign. Been the best man on the pitch in the last 15 to 20 minutes, Mr. Birmingham. So glad to see him back up and around. As these players begin to get tired, you too can get tired by visiting McMahon's Best One. Shop McMahon's Best One for all your automotive needs, specifically tires. If you should be in the need, McMahon's the official tire and auto care partner of Fort Wayne FC.
Get Ken Harkenrider bringing out the dad jokes. The tired comment? So proud.
I believe our contract mandates you laugh at my dad jokes.
You know what? As a dad joke connoisseur myself, I can always appreciate a good dad joke. Terry goes down to the turf inside the 18. No call. As Hernandez and De Castro try to get out of traffic.
Oh, they gave
De Castro steals
giveaway,
that
but then,
away.
yeah, De Castro back in. Nice tackle.
And here's a counter opportunity. Cuenca sends it ahead for Kedeman. Rose looks to keep it in bounds, and a good job of getting that back to the boots of Graves. A Movan now loses control. Cuenca crosses in. Mihov trying to recreate his magic from last Saturday. Can't time that quite well. And now Mihov tries again. Hernandez and company switching sides.
Yeah, Toledo pushed well back into their own half at this point. As I mentioned earlier, hard to keep that high pressure throughout the course of a full 90 minutes, as you do just begin to, your legs begin to give out on you a little bit.
Here's a steal by Brown. What can Brown do for you? Here comes Odell. Evades the tackle. No foul is called.
That's a really nice slide to dispossess Mr. Brown.
Dyson now resets.
Not a bad idea, just again execution, although
Offsides is called. Yonka just a hair past his defender. And Fort Wayne FC seemingly dodges another bullet.
You know, Josh, for nearly 100 years, Lassus has been one of Northeast Indiana's largest independent gasoline suppliers and convenience stores. Here's news. Save on Fort Wayne FC tickets through the Lassus Go app. Pleased to be partnered with Lassus.
Meanwhile, Fort Wayne FC looks to dip into their reserves again as Ruud Schneider-Bobrun is getting ready to
Had
check
some
in.
wonderful minutes last week as well out on that flank. I know you had him at the top of your list. Not the top of your list, but among the top of your list for man of the match. He certainly involved. Ooh, that was not off by much. No, we talked about that, Josh. The fear of having just that one goal lead at this point. Any kind of a move that allows a goal for Toledo, and we're right back where we started at. Equal.
Schaefer shakes and bakes. Switching it up. Terry right into the midst of Briscoe.
Wow, that was well taken. Well taken. Paying the price now with a little cramp.
No hydration breaks in this one as the shadows.
And onto the field, our heroes from OPS. Optimum Performance Sports is a leader in the health and fitness industry, and OPS is the official sports medicine partner for Fort Wayne FC, and we're pleased to have their help here tonight, and specifically at this very moment, as the OPS crew makes their way onto the field to help, whether it's a cramp or something more serious. God forbid that we have something more serious, but they're going to be there to help get you back into your best playing shape. OPS, proud sponsor and partner with Fort Wayne FC.
So Trace Terry will leave the match now. Into the match for the first time this season is Silas Rustin, a Detroit native. And then, as we mentioned, Ruud Schneider-Bobrun will check in for the first time as Beto Anaya's day is done. Got a heck of a start for Anaya in his
Heck of a start, yeah.
reunion tour with Fort Wayne FC.
I'm not sure we've mentioned his name in the second half, though, have we? Am I missing something?
Not exactly, no.
Yeah, he for whatever reason kind of disappeared from the flow, didn't he? Sometimes that happens. Ball just on that other side, and Birmingham really involved in most of the play.
So Ruud Schneider-Bobrun now in for the first time, the France native.
Such a nice young man, Beto Anaya. Had a chance, as I mentioned, he was one of the three I had a chance to visit with this week, and just so gracious, and smile on his face most times. Just a pleasure.
So as the sun sets here on a gorgeous late spring evening, the sun is also setting on Toledo Villa's FC's chance to get a result on the road. Just over 11 minutes left plus stoppage time. Ramsey Kelly loses control. Mihov counters. Mihov
On his left boot.
Left
Oh,
boot chance,
my.
and Graves is able to glove that away at the last moment.
I thought Mioff was going to unleash one of those ferocious shots that he can wield with that left boot. He chose to play it through instead, and it was not far off. That was certainly a good, dangerous opportunity for Fort Wayne. And, Josh, no better way to defend the final 10 minutes than to be in the attack aggressively. The ball landing 70, 80, 90 yards away from Ari Briscoe in the Fort Wayne goal. It was about as safe a defending as you can get.
Kenneman nails that down out wide as Bobrin.
Did not take Rude long to get into the flow of play. Oh, that looked like it might have been a bit of a handball. Maybe decided that the body or the hands were arms against the body, so no call, but
we do have a corner kick. So a good job by Bobrin forcing the issue, and once again we've got a corner kick. Now on this side it's been Mihov taking the corner kicks, and that trend's going to continue.
And as I mentioned in the first half, he certainly drives that ball nicely. And didn't quite get that one where he wanted it to.
Try to play it short that time, not the wisest decision. If that's one aspect of Fort Wayne FC's attack that definitely needs some improvement over the coming weeks, it's probably on those set pieces.
I think I would agree with that comment. I think they're just, again, I think they have several guys who can drive the ball and play it, put a little bit of a spin and a curve on it to get it up and over a defender, whatever, but we just don't seem to have a whole lot going on to make sure somebody's on the other end of it.
Here's Dyson. Off the leg of DeCastro, and Toledo with a chance to counter with a corner kick of their own. 82nd minute.
Not to beat that dead horse, but boy, any touch that ends up in the back of the net at this point equalizes. So, Fort Wayne needs to tend to that at the other end, see if they can't get one more, and as you say, that second goal probably at this point put this game away.
And while a yellow card was presented, we'll get more details on that in a moment. But first, a crucial corner kick for both sides.
So seeing another yellow card brings to mind Gigi's Lemon Stand. How about that for a transition, Josh? Next time you come to a Fort Wayne FC match, stop by and grab an ice-cold lemonade at Gigi's Playhouse Lemonade Stand. Cash donations are accepted. Thanks to Gigi's Lemon Stand for being a part of game day here at Bishop Darcy Stadium.
Meanwhile, Ari Briscoe having a game himself, punching away that corner kick. But Toledo pressuring on with their attack. Yonka, the header. Now Rose with a chance. Dyson.
Oh, very well defended. And there we have up and over into the 25-foot netting rather than the 8-foot high netting.
Maybe not the type of goal he was hoping for. Besides, that kick looked more wide left.
Haha. Reminding me the wonderful football rivalries between the University of Notre Dame and Florida State, and wide right. Several of those games, the poor Florida State kicker pushed that ball just to the right. And that became a rallying cry in South Bend, Indiana. Wide right, wide right.
You think that's going to be a point of conversation when Notre Dame and Florida State meet again this fall?
You know what? I hope so, because some glorious memories from my days up on the campus of Notre Dame.
Maybe not so glorious memories for the folks down in Tallahassee, but nonetheless, Fort Wayne FC trying to make some more glorious memories of their own as Schaefer attacks, along with Dyson of Toledo Villa.
My most vivid memory from a Notre Dame football game was opportunities after I had graduated already, but had returned. I believe it was 1988 championship year for Notre Dame, and Rocket Ishmael taking one against University of Miami, taking one from 8 yards deep in the end zone all the way for a six-pointer. Boy, that was somewhat chaotic.
And Toledo was forced to just boot that out of their own goal line, and now with Anaya out, Mihal have taken the corner kicks on both sides.
See if we can get this one up in the air just a little bit more. That last one he took from this side, kind of harmlessly controlled by the near post defender.
First, Mike Avery making another substitution with Josh Erlinson coming into the match, and Cuenca's day is done.
So hopefully fans have had an opportunity to visit the station, the gear station down under the stadium here at Bishop Darcy Stadium. Puma is the Fort Wayne FC partner for official apparel, bringing their iconic style and gear to our players, staff, and fans. Stop by the booth before, during, and after every Fort Wayne FC home match throughout the season. Load yourself up with some wonderful Puma Fort Wayne FC gear.
Mihov off the goalpost. As time continues to dwindle away. 86 minutes in the books. Less than 4 to go, plus whatever stoppage time is allotted.
Again, I'm really pleased to see the pressure Fort Wayne is putting up so high on the pitch. Again, hard to sustain over 90 minutes in the final 10. Dig deep, right? Maybe the best way to confirm that victory. Again, the best defense is to keep that ball 70 or 80 yards away from your own goal. So
Kino knees that ball off the face of Toledo, and you just got to hope that Toledo's okay in this instance.
Yeah, that's going to hurt.
I'm sure you've taken a couple of those during your soccer tenure.
Oh, that replay. You can't unsee it. Yeah, as a matter of fact, you know what? You see those stars momentarily. No fun. That's no fun whatsoever. But, again, that ball, ball meets nose. Ball wins every time, I'm pretty sure.
And it looks like, at our view, maybe some blood on the jersey as well.
Yeah, he was holding his hand out there. He's doing it again. Obviously, by rule, has to leave the field
and
anytime there's a blood situation.
And a huge chance here, too, as Toledo is down to 10 men for the moment. Matt Johnson not pulling Toledo yet. Bulbrun tackled on the turf, and that creates another set piece for Fort Wayne FC as we approach the 89th minute. Hernandez will take this free kick. And again, you just feel like one goal will put this match away.
Not sure if that's exactly where he wanted that ball to land or not, but easily collected by Graves. Played back out again. Josh, want to mention our good friends over at Bowen Center as well, looking out for everyone's mental health wellness. Such an important task these days for optimal performance both on and off the field, whatever your field in your circumstances may be. Bowen Center provides services to support your physical, mental, addiction recovery, life skills coaching, and more. Bowen Center, care for your body and your mind.
'90th minute at Bishop Darcy Stadium. Fort Wayne FC clinging on to a 1-0 lead over Toledo Valla.
Should be getting our indication of how much stoppage time will be added on to the end of that 90. Doesn't seem to my mind that it should be very many. I'm going to suspect 2 or 3 minutes perhaps. No real injuries of note, no goals in the second half, so
Kino loses control. Toledo Valla just running out of time.
So just looking out the press box here, seeing a fan wearing a replica jersey with Valbruna on the back side. Valbruna Stainless is a leader in the production of special steel, processing of special steel, and the processing of metal alloys for the food and pharmaceutical industries and more. Valbruna Stainless, proud sponsor and partner of Fort Wayne FC for the 2024 season, and at ball sales just a bit too high.
If only Schaefer thought that was worth 3 points instead of 1.
We almost to the point in the evening of being able to make use of the stadium lights here at Bishop Darcy Stadium, but nearing the end. 5 minutes. So how about that, Josh? I said 2 and 3 minutes, so exactly 5 minutes as I predicted of stoppage time.
I'm sure the fans at Darcy Stadium just holding their breath at this point. Not exactly a textbook match by Fort Wayne FC standards, but this early in the season when you're still trying to figure each other out, 3 matches into an 8-day season, you just got to find the results where you can.
Absolutely, and sometimes those are the most encouraging is when you don't play at your highest, best level and still come away with the success.
Kenneman got a piece of it, unable to control it.
For my money, that's what I would prefer from a coaching perspective of, you go out and play a fantastic game and still don't get the result, right? You give up a stinker goal. Dominate the play throughout the course of the match, still come away empty-handed. That's discouraging because, this way gives coaches something to work on through the coming practice days. And, again, you still get the result, take away the 3 points. And, again, FC Buffalo idle tonight. So as it stands, if Fort Wayne emerges with these 3 points, be standing atop the Valley Division with 9 points, followed by potentially Cleveland Force could end up with 4 if they hold on to the lead over against the Dayton Dutch Lions tonight, the only other Valley Division game taking place, followed by FC Buffalo with 3. So a significant gap between first and second. A great place for Coach Avery and his men in blue.
Another booking, meanwhile, against Fort Wayne FC as Rustin was down on the pitch for the moment. Already 3 minutes into stoppage time. Remember, the fourth official indicated 5 minutes. Precious time ticking away as Taylor Dyson is set to take this free kick. Dyson plays it short for Brown. Brown trying to elude his defenders. Out wide, the cross, and how about Briscoe?
A nice save from Briscoe.
Briscoe jabs it away, and that creates another corner kick. Perhaps one last chance as we get another look.
Yeah, that was headed to that upper 90 for sure. Ball driven across near post, headed away out of danger. Take this opportunity to remind fans that Fort Wayne FC is proud to partner with Corporate Holdings, providing a range of services in electronics and manufacturing equipment fields. Corporate Holdings, sponsor and partner with Fort Wayne FC.
Dyson too far on that chance. 4 minutes into stoppage time. Fort Wayne FC seconds away from starting 3-0 on the season. And you know Briscoe's going to take his sweet time on this goal kick.
Yep, that's getting dark enough. Boy, you barely see the ball on that blue background in the end zone of the St. Francis Cougars. As the final moments wind down, we want to thank our friends at Republic Services for their official position as waste and recycling partner of Fort Wayne FC. As we clean the stands at the end of every match, we certainly want to take time to thank and appreciate the work of Republic Services. Got to be getting close now, Josh, I would think.
Yes, let's it rip.
Thought that was going to be the 3 whistles. Just 1 whistle. Going to let this restart play out.
Instead, Eli Shope is down on the pitch. Probably just reset this, and because it feels like this match is all but in the books. Maybe the official allows Toledo one last chance to counter.
Nope,
And
there it
said
is.
no. Full time at Bishop Darcy Stadium, and Fort Wayne FC is off to a 3-0 start to the season by a final of 1-0 over Toledo.
Love
Villa.
that, love that. And Josh, I'd be remiss. We have one final sponsor to thank, Barrett McNagny, one of the oldest law partnerships in the state of Indiana and among the largest in Northeast Indiana. Barrett McNagny, trusted counsel where and when you need it. Partner with Fort Wayne FC now, 9 points and atop the Valley Division, USL 2. A wonderful start to the 2024 season. Just quite honestly, an extension of the 2023 season, isn't it? I mean, they finished the 2023 campaign unbeaten. Made their first foray into the USL 2 playoffs, going down to the Flint City Bucks in overtime, hosting that game. Hopefully things can fall in place and align this year as well. So far, we're off to a great start toward that end.
And you know, Mike Avery wanted to make sure that this team was not compared to last year, but kind of hard to do so when you have that much success from last year. This team is still creating the results, maybe not by the wide margins that we saw last season, but they're still taking care of business.
Absolutely, absolutely, and they certainly are putting the product on the field, and you know, again, we'll continue to share some of those thoughts and make it happen that we get Coach Avery on the video itself to talk about some of his ideas about why these guys play so well together and have the results to show for that relationship. So with that, we'll invite you to join us again on Wednesday evening. The Inter-Detroit squad will be coming into Fort Wayne for a friendly. Really going to be an exciting night. Hopefully we get another beautiful day of wonderful summer weather here at Bishop Darcy Stadium. I believe I'm correct, Josh, in saying that is a